Sandy Burkholder. We're here with Mary Meixner with the Ashland County Parks, and she is the naturalist and program coordinator for the parks. And you do a little bit of everything. I mean, your job description is like way big.
Yeah, so I do a little bit of, I do some volunteer management, I do outreach, so if you want me to come and speak to your organization or group about the parks, I do a little bit of that. A lot of programming, so planning programs and doing programs. A little bit of natural resources stuff, so kind of keeping track of the wildlife and the plants and trees and all that kind of stuff that's happening in our parks. So, and then whatever else is needed, events and that kind of stuff too. So
all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
You have the fun job.
In the fine print, you know, all other duties as assigned.
There you go. So we are here at what park today are we visiting?
Yeah, so this is Audubon Wetlands Preserve. It's a 215-acre park. It was opened in 2009, and it was acquired pretty heavily through the efforts of the Greater Mohican Audubon Society, which is the local chapter of the Audubon Society. So it's a great park. It's got a wetland back here. It borders the Jerome Fork on the far side of the park. We did a lot of work out here last year, really opening up the trails. We just installed signs in April to make it a little easier to hike the trails. So yeah, it's a great park and great for wildlife, great for people. Yeah.
Wildlife. Okay, that's right down your neck of the woods.
Yes.
So give us a little bit of what wildlife we're going to see here as we walk.
Yeah, so there's, I believe, I looked at the numbers, we've had over 160 birds documented here. There is an eagle nest way back on the property. I don't think you can see it from the trails. I've only seen it from the road, like on 71. But there is an eagle nest, so lots of different birds here with the wetland, a lot of insects, a lot of different wildlife, mammals, amphibians, reptiles. We saw a black snake in the wetland last time that we were here. Actually, I think they're calling them a gray rat snake now. Okay. They kind of, you know, scientists kind of change the names on things sometimes. But yeah, so lots of cool wildlife to see when you're here. Obviously deer and that kind of stuff. We just saw a rabbit back there, so lots of good diversity, which is cool.
So with all the paths that you have here, like if I took a hike, how many miles, or if I took a run, what would I be covering that way?
Yeah, so it's about 2.5 miles of trails. Okay. There's sort of a big loop that goes around to the backside and then along the Jerome Fork of the river. And there's a smaller loop in there that sort of goes to like an overlook area. So there's a smaller loop that you can do, but the big one that goes by the river is pretty neat to see back there. So yeah.
How about mushroom hunting?
Ooh, you know, that's an area of expertise that I do not have. So I imagine there's probably some good mushrooms back there, being that it's, you know, a wetter area, wetter forest, but that is an area that I am not strong in, so I'm working on that.
That's all right. Well, there's a boardwalk right behind us.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. So let's take a walk across the boardwalk.
Sounds good.
And let's see what's on the other side.
Yeah, awesome.
So we're on the boardwalk now, and it's a bit marshy and wet here.
Yep.
What other kind of things would we see in this wet area? I mean, birds, whatever.
So we have, this is kind of the wetland area here. So there's, you know, cattails, there's duck potato, there's swamp milkweed, there's thought I maybe saw some skunk cabbage back there. So just a diversity, different diversity of plants that lives here, you know, in a wetter area. You'd get things like herons and ducks back in there, killdeer, more shore type of birds. So a little bit different. Some amphibians. I thought I heard a green frog back there. So just a lot different kind of diversity than you'd find maybe back in the woods or up here in this kind of scrubby area up there. So yeah.
And it was kind of, as we were walking across the bridge, I saw your mosquito sign.
Yes.
I just kind of chuckled. I mean, we all have mosquitoes, but in this damp, wet area.
Yeah. So it's definitely something to be aware of if you do come and hike here, especially once you get back into the woods. That seems to be where it is the worst. So wear bug spray and keep moving. That's the easiest way.
So they don't pick you up and go away with you.
Right.
Okay, you brought a bag of goodies of some sort. So what do you have in your bag?
Sure. So since we're here at a wetland, I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about why wetlands are so good for the environment, for people, for wildlife. So that's what my sort of bag of props has to do with. So these are all items that sort of describe what a wetland does for different things. So for example, I just have a little dollhouse bed here. And this represents how a wetland is a resting stop for birds, especially migratory birds, and other animals that are kind of moving through an area and need a place to stop and rest. So they see a wetland, they know there's water, there's shelter, there's probably a lot of food available. So that is one of those.
Nice.
Pretty similar to that is this little baby cradle, also from Dollhouse. But it is showing how a wetland is a nursery for a lot of different species, especially like fish. You know, young fish are going to be hiding around in this vegetation, young amphibians, insects. So it's kind of a nursery for a lot of different species.
Oh my gosh.
And then we kind of talked about food, right? Because it's a rest stop. You can get food there. It's a nursery, food for young animals. This is just a little bag of oatmeal, but it just represents how a wetland is a really good source of food for wildlife, but also in other parts of the world, you know, rice is grown in wetlands, so it's a good place for people to grow nutrient-rich food as well. So kind of need that. And then I also have a couple different types of filters. So we sort of have a bigger kitchen strainer, and then we also have a coffee filter. And this is just representing how a wetland filters out different things from water. So like bigger things like silt and dirt and debris get filtered out. Smaller impurities also get filtered out in a wetland. Because if you think about it, in a wetland, the water's coming in from somewhere, right? A river or maybe flood water. It's getting into this wider space and it's slowing down. And so all that stuff sort of has a chance to settle out of the water. And the water leaving the wetland is cleaner than the water that came into it. So those are our filters and what a wetland does for filters. It also helps to clean the environment, so we just have soap or hand sanitizer, again helping to clean water, but also helping the environment to stay healthy. And then our last two are just a regular kitchen whisk, because it stirs up oxygen and nutrients in the water, is what a wetland also does. And then the final one, which is just a regular old kitchen sponge, that represents how, you know, in times of flooding or high rain, a wetland can often absorb a lot of that extra water that's coming in from somewhere, and so it helps to prevent flooding. If you live in a coastal area especially, you know, think about hurricanes and things like that. As a hurricane would be coming closer to the shore, if it hit a wetland first, that impact would sort of be absorbed a little bit by the vegetation and all of that that's in the wetland. So it absorbs excess water, helping to prevent flooding. And then also in times of drought, kind of on the flip side, it's going to hold on to water and moisture a lot longer than some of the surrounding areas. So those are just a few ways that wetlands help us and help the environment and help wildlife. And a lot of our species, a lot of our animals and wildlife are dependent on wetlands. So like 50% of the species that live in Ohio that are threatened or endangered rely on wetlands for some part of their life. So restoring wetlands and protecting wetlands is really important for our native wildlife. So yeah, just a couple benefits of having wetlands around.
That's
That was a lot.
awesome.
That was a science dump. I'm kind of a nature nerd, so that's how it goes.
That's the reason you have your job.
Exactly.
That's awesome, because, you know, we think wetlands are, you know, just yucky and,
Yeah, exactly.
you know,
They sort of have like
annoying.
a swamp, right?
Yeah.
Ew, maybe stinky, maybe kind
Yeah.
of gross, but yeah, they're actually super, super important.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Thank you for the science class
You're
today.
welcome.
We can always learn something new. So,
You're welcome.
well, so if you haven't been here to Audubon Park, come join us down here. Well, I say us, we might be here, we might not. But anyway, come down and check out the trails, because it's coming in, you come in between Hampton and the McDonald's, and you come clear to the back here, and there's parking spaces, and you can enjoy the scenery. There's a pavilion with tables.
Picnic tables,
Yes, you
yeah.
can, you know, bring the kids out, let them run, and then you can take the boardwalk. But stop in and enjoy. And if you ever need Mary for something, because she's got that specialist, you know, in her in her genes for all those different things, give her a call at the
Yeah.
Ashland Park District. But stay tuned, because we're going to go visit a few more parks. Hello, we are at the Black Fork Bottoms now, just off 42, and you see it's a very scenic view back here. This is
It's a
awesome.
beautiful park. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize that it's back here. It's kind of a gem. I was telling Sandy earlier, I've sort of been driving past this area my whole life, and it was always super exciting to see like what's living in the swamp down there, and then discovering this. There's 2 miles of trails here that actually go back around the wetland area and back into sort of a grassland and then meadow kind of area in the back, and there's even an observation deck back there that you can kind of hang out at. So it's a really beautiful park. Great birds. It's about 127 acres, I believe. And it was donated to us through the Pheasants Forever chapter of Ashland. So they had purchased the land and then donated it to the park district. So it is a hunting area, but it's only closed to other visitors during like the 2 weeks of gun season and like muzzleloader season and youth hunting when there's deer. So it is open the rest of the time to other visitors and hikers and birders and that type of stuff. So it's a really cool spot back here.
So is it like dawn to dusk type of?
Yeah, so that's
time
typically
frame?
when our
Okay.
open, when the parks are open,
All
is
right.
from dawn to dusk, and then they close obviously when it gets dark. But yeah, those are the typical open hours of like
Okay.
any of our parks.
Okay. So, I mean, behind us,
Yes.
and we'll see here in a few minutes, is some more wet
Yes.
pond, or wet. I mean,
Yeah.
what kind of things would be here compared to, some of your other parks there?
Sure, yeah, so we have historically had beavers here, which is sort of what created this wet area back here. There's bald eagles. I just saw a bald eagle here the other day. Trumpeter swans. So those two species especially are really cool in the last several years because of all the conservation that's been done. They used to be endangered or threatened, and now they've been taken off that endangered and threatened species list. So they're doing really well. So it's really cool to see those guys back here. Lots of other like waterfowl, monarch butterflies. I saw those. Those are kind of an endangered species as well. So parks are really cool for people because they're places for us to connect with nature and get out and enjoy recreation and enjoy outdoor activities. But they're also super important for wildlife because, in our world today, there's a lot of development, there's housing and businesses and all of those types of things. And so these parks really provide habitat and places for our wildlife, especially like those ones that are endangered and have been able to recover because of protection efforts and conservation efforts. So yeah, really cool diversity that exists back here, especially with multiple habitats. So the wet and then sort of the grassland and the meadow area in the back. So.
And it's fairly quiet. You hear a little bit of highway noise, but it's fairly quiet back here.
It
so
is.
if you need to come back for just a moment of peace and quiet,
Yeah,
this
it's
is
really
definitely
great.
the place to come to
Yeah.
get back in here and go for your run because you
Yes.
said it's 2 miles.
Yes, 2 miles of trails.
Wow.
So yeah.
Run it a couple of times and you'll be good.
Yeah, it's a great spot. And there's some cicada noise now, but yeah, in the springtime, it's pretty quiet. We do get like woodcocks out here, so that's something to kind of look ahead to in the spring. I'll probably do like a woodcock walk out here. That's a really cool bird that has a really cool courtship display. So those guys live back here until they migrate, and lots of cool amphibians and insect and fishing back here too.
So the ponds are stocked, so it's catch and release?
Yes,
or
catch
is
and
it-
release.
Yes,
Yes.
right.
I don't know that we've stocked this one just because it's kind of not a man-made
Right,
pond, but
right.
there is fishing that can be happening back there too.
Nice.
So.
Well, let's go take a look and let's see what's on the other side. So we took a stroll down the hill. Now we're in the bottoms,
Yeah.
hence the reason for the name.
Right. Yep.
There. So, and we just did spy with the binoculars 2 of the trumpeter swans.
Yeah.
Awesome and amazing, but they're a little ways off, so we're not going to be able to see them with the camera, but you need to come see them. But okay, give us a little bit more since we're down here in the bottom.
Yeah. So this is sort of what was created by beavers. And because of the beavers creating the flooding, sometimes the trail was inaccessible. So we worked on that a little bit. So it's a great place to come and hike now. You can sort of go along here and up the hill back to the grassy, more like meadow area. That's where like the woodcocks like to hang out in the springtime, and some other different species of birds. But down in here, lots of waterfowl. There's actually several monarch butterflies that are flitting about in this milkweed down here. Lots of amphibians down here, obviously insects, a lot of different waterfowl that use the wetland area back here. So that's a good like hunting spot in the waterfowl season. So a lot of cool diversity happening down here in this area.
So you need to stop out to the Blackford's bottom because there is a pavilion up top there too. So
With
you can have a little picnic and then go for a walk because it's pretty awesome down in here. And once you get down over the hill, just the view is amazing.
Yeah,
that way.
It's pretty cool back here.
It is. Well, stay tuned because we're leaving here and we're going to go see another park.
Hi, I'm Mike Bricker.
And I'm Mitch Pisker.
The name Armstrong reflects more than just a company, it's a promise.
While others focus on the short term, we're building for a future that's limitless.
From the dawn of cable television to the rise of the digital age, we've delivered cutting-edge technology, like our advanced fiber network that redefines what's possible.
Guided by our core values, we've proudly served and strengthened communities like yours for generations.
Sandy Burkholder here with JJ Bittinger at Hot Shots Training Center on Bainey Road. And if you haven't been here, oh my gosh, it's truly amazing and awesome, and they do a lot of things here. So JJ, I want to talk about classes and just things that you guys have available here for anybody, because anybody can come in, right?
Yes, and it's open to the public. We do all kinds of different classes here. We do like basic pistol classes, intermediate, advanced pistol classes. We do shoot, don't shoot, like decision scenario-based drills classes with people. We do youth gun safety classes, which we can talk about later. But we also get into law enforcement training. We actually have law enforcement officers come up here and train, and we work with the sheriff's office and stuff like that here also. So that's all some of the stuff we offer. We do concealed carry classes here. With concealed carry, you have to have so many hours classroom and then so many hours on the live range, which we have access to a live range down the road, down by Mifflin that we use for that. So we offer those monthly as well. All of our classes are online on the website, hotshotshootingcenter.com. You can go in there and look at what upcoming classes we have. They're usually Tuesday night, Thursday nights, or Saturdays. We also, we do offer, and we were talking about earlier, we offer the less lethal force options type of thing, less lethal weaponry stuff. So like pepper spray, like women that don't feel comfortable carrying a gun, we have pepper spray, classes that we can offer them and teach them how to use pepper spray the proper way, or tasers or something to that effect as well. When you come into Hot Shots, we actually offer private lessons as well. If somebody wanted just private lessons one-on-one with an instructor, we do offer that as well. When you come into Hot Shots, if you just want to come in as a family event, you can come in here. You can book one of the rooms up there, either the training room or the lounge area, and you can utilize those. People book them for like bachelorette parties or graduation parties. You can book the range rooms, or you can just come in. You and your friend want to come in and shoot for an hour. You come in here, and what I tell people, I said, you want to go to live range and shoot for an hour, especially with the price of ammo anymore, it's expensive. You can come in here and use our training guns, which we have also the realistic, I don't say they're not live fire gun, they're a recoil weapon,
right,
that actually operate just like a real weapon does. You feel the recoil in your hand as you're shooting the simulator. So you can upgrade all that stuff, and it's just a good experience and a good environment. But you can come in here and shoot for an hour, a lot cheaper than you can go to the live range and shoot for an hour. Never meant to replace live fire. I mean, you still have to get your hands on a real gun and shoot if you want to be proficient, but you can work on all your skills here on top of just the classes that we do offer.
With all the classes, and I think you and I were talking about this just a few minutes ago as well, is that, if I don't see a class online, or if there's something, you work with churches and things like that. So you'll build a class for whatever the need may be.
We will. If somebody has a class that they want to see, or a certain thing they want to work on, reach out to us, and we'll be more than happy to see what we can offer. Like I said, we offer, I come from the law enforcement side, so I'm an instructor in all kinds of different stuff through OPADA, through the Peace Officer Academy stuff. So we can build you something specifically for you, or whatever it is you're looking for.
That's nice to know. So if you need any kind of training or any kind of classes, whatever that may be, look up Hot Shots Training Center, the website. Anything special with the website? Just Hot Shots Training Center?
Hot Shot Shooting Center.
Okay.
.com, or visit us on Facebook. We're also on Facebook at Hot Shots Shooting Center.
Okay.
And we can the whole drop-down menu of upcoming classes. It offers what classes we have, and scope out the website. If you got any questions, give us a call.
Sign up now. Thanks for joining us.
My name is Jamie Schultz. I'm Director of Engineering for the Ziegenfelder Company. We're located in Wheeling, West Virginia. We are the largest manufacturer of twin tops in the world. We had an ice storm that impacted our network connectivity. Armstrong Business Solutions was able to deploy a wireless internet backup in order for us to communicate with our other facilities. So we make millions of twin tops across the country. It would be a nightmare trying to keep track of everything. Armstrong Business Solutions helps keep our business up and running.
are here at the Gillen Chirp Nature Park, and it has water too.
It is, yeah. So there's we'll go down in a little bit to the Black Fork, which is cool. The part of the trail runs kind of right along the river for a little ways, so I'm excited to get down there. There's some cool stuff down there to look at. But this park is 176 acres, so there are some trails here. We're working on sort of the wayfinding and getting better signage out here for the trail system, but it is a really neat park. There's fishing down by the river. There's also even another park across the river from this one called Esmond Shade, and that is also for fishing and hunting as well. So both of these parks, this one especially is a really neat spot.
And it's got a few different trailheads I see to go in.
Yeah, so you can sort of, the trail goes down in a loop, I believe. So you sort of can start down this way and then you end up coming back over there. Or you can just head straight down to the river, which is usually what I like to do. So,
so how many like acres of path or?
Yeah, I think
trails?
There's a couple miles of trails. I was looking on the website and it's not listed on the website how many miles. So I think it's a couple miles, kind of the same as like the other parks that we visited today. Yeah.
But still a nice place to come and get away and just have your own little.
Yeah, it's a nice forest, nice trails through the woods, and it's a nice spot.
And this one's right off of 603. So if you come down 42 and you are hitting 603 and you're going south, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump, and it's right close to Mifflin area too, so you can stop in and see it there. But without further ado, let's head to the river.
Yeah.
So we're down here at the bottom by the river, which is the Black Fork, right?
Yep.
Okay. And we were just talking, you could probably even bring a canoe down or a kayak or something you could put in down here and have a little bit of fun and see some nature, but give us a little bit more of the nature part down here by the water.
Yeah, so I mean, we have some cool trees. I was just telling Sandy about a honey locust tree, which when they're young, they have these massive thorns on them that are about that big. And there's a couple of them just down the trail here. So if you want to come and see, it's kind of a leftover from an age when we had like mastodons and much larger mammals living, in the United States. So those thorns helped to protect that tree from getting eaten by those massive megafauna, we would call them. But yeah, you can probably hear the cicadas. There's a ton of cicadas down here. Lots of ash trees that have, kind of been unfortunately damaged by the emerald ash borer invasive species. But it does create a lot of good habitat for like woodpeckers. Saw some red-headed woodpeckers down here the other day. So lots of birds, lots of insects that are making their homes in those dead trees. With the river here also too, some cool, diversity. Probably got some muskrats, lots of herons and other types of birds that like the water, waterfowl. I think I spooked some wood ducks down here the other day too. So lots of cool wildlife.
So with all the parks we visited today, I mean, they have a lot of paths and most of them are grassy.
Yeah.
And they're all mowed and they look really nice.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen without having people to help or volunteers or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So what does that look like for us as a community? What can we do to help the parks? Are you looking for volunteers or give us a little bit of...
Yeah, we're definitely always looking for volunteers. If you'd like to mow or I run a lot of programs and field trips in the spring. So, if you're a retired educator or you're kind of looking to sort of give back to the community in that way too, you can reach out to me. We have a volunteer page on our website, an application that you can fill out. We just started using Volgistics, which is a cool volunteer management software that helps us to track hours and all of that stuff. So there's a lot of different opportunities for you to get involved with the parks if you'd like to. And especially like we have a friends group as well that you can join and support, and that really helps support the park district as well. And that you can also find information about that on our website and on Facebook too. So.
And with any of the parks, because you're not spending taxpayers' money, because everything's donated, so everything you do is, done by volunteers and grants and stuff,
yeah,
right?
We do make use of a lot of grant dollars, so stretching our budget even further using those grant dollars. We do have a lot of some dedicated volunteers that help with like mowing and things. We have a maintenance team as well, but we do rely on volunteers for a lot of some of the maintenance pieces of things. So. Yeah, it's definitely a community effort, and these are your parks, so we really want you guys to enjoy them and have a good experience when you come here. So
it's been awesome, for today, for getting out and seeing the parks that we have, but we'll get to see some more parks. But we have Mary Meixner here. She is the naturalist and outreach coordinator for the Ashland Parks District. So if you ever need help she's the gal, because she's made us smart today with all the information she's given us, and I hope you got something from it too. So thanks for joining us. Sandy Burkholder and Mary from the Ashland County Park District. Have a great day.